Fred, Roggin Rodney, Peete, 2 hours today on AM 570 LA Sports. We got a lot to get to, and we are giving away tickets to see UCLA take on Arizona. We'll give you a cue to call sometime between now and 2 o'clock. All right, do you have something you want to get off your chest, which no one knows about?
Yeah,
What is it?
Yeah, I do, Fred. I've got breaking news that, and this is from me, that the Houston Astros should fire Dusty Baker. They got to fire him. They need to fire Dusty Baker because they're not playing well in the World Series. Because Houston got shut out in the World Series, and it's got to be Dusty Baker's fault. Got to be. I mean, Jose Altuve's not hitting. It's got to be Dusty Baker's fault. I don't even know their GM. He needs to get fired, too, for assembling this roster. Because this roster, although they get to the playoffs every year and get to the World Series 4 out of the last 6 years, they can't win it. They've only won it once, and that was cheating, Fred. They won it cheating. So get rid of Dusty Baker because he's doing a horrible job of managing his team that won over 100 games and got to the World Series. It's all Dusty Baker's fault. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah. It's to my Dodger fans that certain amount of them that want to blame Dave Roberts and want to blame Andrew Friedman. It is hard to get there. And as we're seeing, it is about a team being hot. Let's take a look at the Phillies. Everybody says the Dodgers are not built for the World Series or the postseason. Okay, you're telling me the Phillies were? The start of the season, you're telling me the Phillies were built for the postseason. You knew exactly what. They fired their manager a third of the way in. Oh, yeah, but they're built for the World Series. See what they're doing there? No. They were the third-place finisher in a division that had the Mets and the Braves in it. They snuck in a wild card. They just happen to be playing well right now. They just happen to come together right now. They're not built a special way for the postseason. The guys are just playing. They're out of their minds right now. It's clear the Astros are a better team overall on paper. But the Phillies are playing better. And that's sports. And that's baseball, basketball, football, I don't care what it is. In sports, which is live, there's not a robot or a controller controlling these athletes. You have to do it live, and you have to perform on the spot. And there's no automatics. And the guys that you count on all season long, there's no guarantee that they're going to do it in the playoffs. And a guy may not do it for 3 playoffs in a row, but that 4th one, he goes off. Bryce Harper hasn't been great in the playoffs, but he is going off this year. And that's the reason the Phillies are winning right now. I don't know if they're going to win it, but don't sit and tell me that you knew the Phillies were built for the playoffs. What does that mean? So stop it with the Dave Roberts, it's his fault. No, we're seeing it in front of our eyes. No one knows. What you want to do is always be in that conversation to be in the thick of things. So if your team happens to get hot, you're in a position to win it, not in a position to win the last 15 games of the season and have to go home because you didn't make the playoffs. Stop it. That's my rant.
All right, I think it's a solid rant. You know, it's hard for you to convince Dodger fans of that, though. Dodger fans do not want to hear that.
No, they don't.
Fans want to fire Dave Roberts. Yesterday, somebody said they wanted to fire Andrew Friedman.
Yes.
The problem here is that they don't understand what it takes to win. But, we have said from the very beginning, and it applies to the Dodgers maybe more so than any franchise in this market, albeit the Rams, but the Dodgers are in the conversation every year, and that's all you can do. Now, that's frustrating as a fan when you get to the playoffs and you get knocked out. But imagine, and I've said it over and over, what if you lived in Pittsburgh or Cincinnati or Kansas City? Yeah. You're not in any conversation if you're a Texas Ranger fan. You're not in a conversation.
By June. You're out by June.
You're done. You're done. What if you lived in Miami? You're in no conversation. So in sports, you need to be in the conversation. If you positioned yourself to be in the conversation, then you're 75% of the way there. You really are. Okay? If you make the playoffs, you've moved another 5%. You're 80% of the way there. Now you got to find out if you can win it all. And that's all you can ask every year. I understand the frustration of Dodger fans. I understand. We're frustrated too. You know who else is frustrated? The Dodgers. You know who else is Andrew Friedman. Dave
Yes.
Roberts.
The players. Justin Turner. Mookie Betts. You don't think Mookie Betts is sitting up there looking at Bryce Harper going, damn, I need to put up those kind of numbers. That's my job.
That's my job.
That's my job. And if you think Mookie's not thinking that, then you don't know Mookie, what kind of player he is, what kind of person he is. Because he is sick about his performance. I guarantee you he is. And he's watching that, and those Philly players up and down that lineup coming through and coming through and coming through in big-time moments. Every player wants to be in that situation. You don't want to be in a team that, oh, they got hot at the end of the season. And like I said, oh, yeah, but they didn't make the playoffs. So what does that mean?
Means absolutely nothing.
All that winning 15 out of the last 17 games of the season means nothing because you didn't make the playoffs. Come on. Come on. Tell me it's the manager.
Hey, if the Dodgers won 35 games in a row, it'd be time to fire Dave Roberts.
Of course.
You got to get rid of him. Because, in that 17th win, I think he should have pinch hit somebody else.
Exactly.
And that's the kind of thing that'll come back and bite you later in the year.
I mean, honestly, the Houston Astros are a humongous favorite in this World Series. And they may still win it. We don't know.
We don't know.
Anything can go. Anything can happen. But I tell you what, I don't think people gave Phillies a half a chance. With that roster of Houston and the way they plan, that pitching rotation that they have, that lineup that they have, I think most people felt like, oh, man, Houston's going to win this thing.
Yeah.
Except someone forgot to tell the Philadelphia Phillies and the city of Philadelphia that they had no chance. Because they're taking it to the Astros right now. Astros don't know what's hit them right now. They may not give out of Philly. They may not get out of Philly.
Well, I was going to say that. They may not get out of Philly because Phillies, if they keep winning, can wrap it up there. When Bryce Harper hit that home run last night, the stadium was shaking.
Yeah. Yes.
It was as if there was an earthquake. They made the entire stadium shake.
Yeah.
That was the atmosphere for the Phillies last night.
They haven't lost at home in the playoffs. Imagine that. They haven't lost at home. I mean, often there's not a whole lot of, when you get to this point in the season in the playoffs and stuff like that, it's not really a big gap for a home field advantage. But I think the Phillies got one in this one. Phillies got a home field advantage. They haven't lost. And you can feel they feed off that crowd. And Bryce Harper gave it to them in the first inning, and they never sat down.
They really have caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
They've done it.
They have.
Yeah. Now we'll see. We'll see if they continue.
Yeah. But what is that? Can you tell me how next year? Show me how you do that next year. Tell me, do exactly what the Phillies did next year, somebody. Just do it. Because apparently it's firing the manager and it's firing the GM, bringing somebody else in new that's going to change it around. You may not win 111, may win 98, 102, but that's the formula. I got the formula that's going to win the World Series. Because I know. Because it's all rotation, right? Because the Cy Young winner is going to go win 2 games in the World Series. Oh, wait. Verlander got beat the first game. Oh, wait. He got beat, Fred. Our Cy Young winner, who's lights out, who was slated to pitch 2 games in the World Series, got beat in the first game. And has to pitch on the road his next outing. Oh, I thought that was guaranteed. No. My leadoff man's not hitting. My little man, Altuve, our captain, he's not hitting at the top of the lineup. What happens when your top leadoff hitter doesn't hit, doesn't get on base, Fred? You struggle.
Yeah. Dodgers
struggle.
Dodgers know that.
They know that. Alvarez, big hero of the 2 playoff series before that. Sent him to the World Series. Big home runs. I think he's 2 for 28 right now in this World Series. Whose fault is that? Is that someone's fault other than he's not doing his job at the plate? Is that the manager's job? Is that the manager's fault? Is that the GM's fault?